Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wisconsin Brewing Company Park tonight. Very special DockHaus Dialogue with Dom, and in case you didn't notice when you walked by our lounge this morning, we've got a huge blowout sale. Everything from our team store is 25% off. Game-worn jerseys, so you can get your favorite player's number, $35. Of course, you had to get here earlier to get your number 1s, your number 7s, your number 40s, but more jerseys are on sale down below. Got everything. Make sure to get your last-minute Christmas gifts. We've also got more ticket information. I'll be doing that after the show, but very pleased to be joined tonight by the two Kelenic brothers. Of course, the Kelenic family, primary owners here of the Lake Country DockHounds. Jarred Kelenic going into his 5th MLB season, his 2nd with the Atlanta Braves, and his younger brother, JT, who will be at Scottsdale Community College in his 1st year there. He'll be in Artichoke. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
So we wanted to first start by talking about having the DockHounds here in your backyard, because Waukesha County, it's not the biggest county in the world. Waukesha's not a huge town. That's your hometown. How cool is it to have not only a team in your home area, but it's owned by your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the coolest part about it is that with Miller Park being so far away and so expensive nowadays to go to those games, to have something like this in this community with like such great people. Obviously with me playing, I'm not here during the summer, but I'm filled in all the time through my parents and the videos and the pictures and the stuff that they send me, and I know what brings them joy each and every night. With us being gone, is seeing the smiles and the excitement of everyone that's here. So it's pretty cool to see it through them, and I'm sure it's even better if you were here in person.
Yeah, no, I got to see some of the games here in the summer, and I could see the joy of all the people that come out to watch these games because, again, not everybody's got the chance to go out and watch the Brewers play. So, I mean, they have an absolute blast watching the game here, grabbing a beer, enjoying the family, and it's just a blast to have this out here.
And JT, you get to sometimes work some of the games when we're a little busier in terms of staffing, but what is it like for you to just be here and soak it all in the environment?
I mean, it's on this side is you don't really see what it takes to make sure everybody's enjoying the time to be at the game, and to see that, it makes you more appreciative for the people that are working it and how hard they got to work to make sure that people can come out here, relax, enjoy the game, and just kick their feet up and have a great time at the game here.
It's a truly big operation here at the Lake Country DockHounds, and it's all inspired by your family, which is just absolutely obsessed with baseball. It's been really cool to get to know JT a little bit over the last couple of summers, and then, of course, working with Tom and Lisa night in and night out. What was it like for you guys being born and just submerged right into the game of baseball?
Well, I mean, I think at an early age, like we played all sports. It wasn't just baseball, but, I think one thing that was established at an early age was just how the value of, the sweat equity that you were going to have to put into the sport. And, that was something that our parents kind of really instilled on us real early, is whether it was, baseball, football, basketball, or even yard work in the yard, we were going to have to, give it everything we got, and you weren't done until the job was finished. And so we took that same mentality and, put it into baseball, and I'm fortunate enough to play professionally. JT's like well on his way to do that, and then you see it here with the DockHounds. They got that same mentality, and I think the coolest part is, the first year I came in here and there was probably 10, 15 people in here playing trivia and bingo and all that stuff, and now there's there's 50 some to 100 people, and who knows where it's going to be in 5-6 years.
Yeah, no, we just had the love for the game, and we just wanted to share that with the people here. So with that is how hard we were working for it, and kind of like how Jarred said, is the toughness, and we made sure to never quit. And especially when we played all of our sports, we wanted to give it 100%. So when we had the love for baseball, I mean, that was just added to it. And with this, is my dad wanted to show everybody here, too, that, we love this sport, too, and we just want to show you guys how much you can really love it as well.
And one thing I've gotten to learn from both Tom and Lisa about Wisconsin Brewing Company Park is that it was bits and pieces of all the other stadiums, both major leagues and minor leagues, that they've been to around the United States that inspired everything here, so including the club that we're in tonight. JT, was there something that always stood out to you when you were going to ballparks as a family that now you can see here?
I mean, it's always, especially as a young kid, it's seeing all the people having the joy around with their parents and that, and just watching the guys go out on the field and just play ball. I mean, especially now that I'm older and I'm working, I get to see the kids running around, smiling, laughing, spending time with their parents, and just having an absolute blast here. That always excites me every time I come to the ballpark.
And then, Jarred, for you, not every professional player has a place where they can come home to and train in the off season, but you have a cage that's literally home for you. What is it like to be here at home and be able to train?
Yeah, the last few off seasons I've kind of been all around. Spent some time down in Arizona, Florida, and this off season it just happened to work out that I was going to be here a little bit longer and got to use the facilities a little bit more. And I mean, the guys are spoiled here. I think it's a brand new, fresh environment. It's a fresh facility. And it brings everything that you need, really. And with the weight room downstairs, the cages is second to none. I haven't been on the field much, but from everything that I've seen, I mean, it looks beautiful, and it's definitely a blessing, and it's nice to have.
It's one of the best facilities, not only in MLB partner leagues in the American Association, but really all of baseball outside of the major league level. And that's why, as you mentioned, our players, they're spoiled. They're very lucky to be here at Wisconsin Brewing Company Park, here in Lake Country, specifically Oconomowoc. And you guys got to follow each other in terms of your journeys and your prep days. JT more recently, that was at Catholic Memorial. And then Jarred, you were at Waukesha West, but you had a little bit of a different circumstances. You were getting ready to be drafted by the New York Mets, 6th overall. What was it like for you guys to follow your journeys? Because they've gone down a little bit of different paths, but you've been there for each other each step of the way.
I mean, I guess from my standpoint is, I got to watch him and just got to learn from him on, especially through high school, on what it takes to be one of the best players in the country. And unfortunately, I didn't get to that level as quick as he did, but I still put it through the way I could and played my own game, and I just enjoyed it. And again, at Catholic Memorial, I had great coaches there, and we had great guys on the team, and we just kept busting our butt, and we had a great time out there, and I just really enjoyed the high school feeling there. And then going off to college ball, I mean, that hasn't changed much. I mean, I always love Wisconsin here. I love the people here, and I always share people where my roots are from.
For me, it was the biggest thing was, not being blessed with good weather. So it was trying to, I was telling a story the other day where me and a couple of guys were together, and we were talking about just when we were in high school and just, how we used to play and how we used to go about it. And I just remember, we'd be in school all week, right? And then the only time that I was really able to play games, because I wasn't playing high school baseball, I was playing travel ball. So in the springtime, I'd wake up at 6 in the morning and drive out to Kenosha, Racine. That's where we were playing, and I would play a doubleheader with the freshmen and sophomores, and then I would stay and play a doubleheader with the juniors and seniors, and come home, and then I would do it again on Sunday. And so I was playing really 8 games a week, but I was playing 8 games in 2 days, and it was tough. But you just kind of work with what you got. I wasn't a big fan of going around and playing all the big name tournaments, because I never really felt that was a necessity for what I needed to do. The biggest thing is just playing baseball, and whether it's here in Wisconsin or whether it's in Florida, I don't think it really matters. I think that the scouts and the colleges, they're all going to find you if you're just playing baseball, and the word travels fast, and if you're talented, they're going to find you. And so the biggest thing is just getting reps and playing. And so that was my main focus, and my family really helped out with that, was just getting me on a baseball field and getting me the most reps I could.
Well, it worked out for you, as you mentioned, and then it worked out in a way for JT, full ride scholarship to Grand Canyon University, now at Scottsdale Community College, just absolutely fantastic baseball in Arizona. JT, was there something that you got from Jarred watching him play that has kind of inspired you or just really motivated you to try and meet up with him?
Just going out on that field and giving it 110%, because, I mean, Jarred can say for himself, too, with a lot of experience that we've seen from other players, is you don't know when's your last game. And you're on that field for a few amount of hours, And it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't give it 110%. Go out there and give it your best, because when you get off that field, you can do whatever you want. You can relax, do whatever you please. But on that field, that's where I saw from him is he gave it his all. And that's what really inspired me to be the same way when I'm out on that field.
And for Jarred, was there something that you tried to do? Because obviously in the back of your mind you're doing it for yourself, but as the older brother, you know that he's following you. Was there something that you tried to do, setting the example, leading by example, to be a good role model for JT?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes not only for him, but it goes beyond him. I mean, I know that, when you're in the major leagues, like your games are on national TV every night. So there's thousands of kids that are watching that game each and every night. And, it took me a while to kind of understand that, because that is one thing that when you come from Wisconsin and there's, at first there's just the parents in the stands, you can do whatever, and you're not used to the public eye being on you and stuff like that, but then you realize on how much of a role model you are for these kids. And when they go to those games and they watch those games on TV, like they want to be you, and you have to treat it in a way that, like, being a parent, again, I'm not a parent, but you want to groom them into be better than what you are. And so when you're out on a baseball field, you want to show those kids that, like, play the game the right way, because at some point those kids are going to be in my position, and you hope that they watch me for however long I play this game, and they can learn maybe one thing and play it the right way and be a good person. And I think that leave it better than you found it.
I love that. And you mentioned being from Wisconsin, and it's a little tougher to play baseball here because you can't play year-round. Like, there's a lot of teammates that you have probably from Florida, from Arizona, from California, who have had the luxury to play 12 months out of the year. They didn't have to be inside a facility to play. Do you have a chip on your shoulder because of that? Because there is a smaller portion of major leaguers from Wisconsin. I know Gavin Lux is one of them as well. But for you, Jarred, and then JT, you're also at the college level. There's not a lot of Wisconsin college players. Does being from Wisconsin put an extra chip on your shoulder to make it in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, baseball's a small world. So, you come around, even when I was in the minor leagues, you find out a kid's from Wisconsin, and you know who he is, and you're just like you just click a little bit, just because it's a small world, or it's a tough state to come from to play this game. And that kid probably had to work his tail off to get where he is, and there's just a mutual respect. And I love Midwest people, and so whenever I find out a kid's from Wisconsin, I'm always pulling for him.
Yeah, a lot of the other guys that I played with too, like you mentioned, are from Arizona and California. So when I kind of explained to them, like, some of the terrain that we got to play with here, like, I remember explaining it to some of the guys, especially at GCU, that for high school, we had to push snow off some of the fields to play our high school games. So it was kind of interesting to hear that and their reactions to it. So taking that is, I just explained to them how grateful it is to have that warm sun out all year long. Because I'm like, we barely get to go outside. We got the whole summer, a little bit into the spring, and towards the end of the fall. That's about it. And so I take that with me, and I just tell them that, I take every second I can when I'm out in that warm sun down low.
Yeah, I definitely don't take it for granted now that I'm up here from Southern California as well. For you two guys, when you were playing in your respective seasons, whether it was while JT was in high school and now that he's in college, how often are you guys communicating about how you're doing, just not only on the field, but with everything else that's going on, so that you guys can help each other as if you both were still here in Wisconsin?
I mean, almost every day. We're always texting each other, just checking in on each other, how we're doing. I know we spread some baseball wisdom to each other, and then we just talk about other stuff too, just about family, hunting, fishing, just other video games. I mean, we just talk about other stuff too, just like brothers.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's a tough game, so I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and had some pretty dark times, and so, like, I've gone through it. And I'm going to continue to go through my ups and downs. And so the biggest thing is when I'm in those low points and I learn something, I latch onto it. And so then I try to spread it, like, because a lot of the same stuff he's going through, I've already gone through, or, like, it's just a constant, learning process. And so if I'm in a slump, right, and it takes me, let's just say, a week, 2 weeks to get through, just because it's a mental grind, But in that week to 2 weeks, I learned something. I try to spread it to him so that maybe if he goes into that same slump, it's not going to take him 2 weeks because they're not fun. And there's a lot to learn in baseball, and I feel like that with every slump you have and with every struggle you have, there's a door that opens up another opportunity, and I believe that, especially like being his brother, just trying to help him out.
And obviously the slumps come a little more and a little longer at the higher level that you play at. And as someone who's progressed obviously more through baseball, given your couple of years of age you have on your younger brother JT, has your advice that you've been giving him changed over the past couple of years, or has it always remained the same, like, hey, you got this, it's going to happen, it happens to me?
It changes, like, circumstantial, right? But I think the biggest thing you got to understand is that whether you're in the big leagues or whether you're playing high school baseball, like, everybody's emotions are all the same. And so when you go through those times of struggling, whether it's in baseball or whether it's in just in work in general, like, everyone, all the same emotions go to everybody. And so when you're able to kind of understand those emotions and how to handle them and understand, like, why you're feeling the way that you are, and trying to reverse, just the thought process on it, that's, like, the biggest thing. Like, I know that he knows how to swing a bat. I know he knows how to play the game the right way. And so a lot of it is just reminding him that, it's just part of the game. And it sucks, but, it's just being like that angel on your shoulder, just telling you to keep going.
And for you guys, you have that built-in connection just because you're brothers, and obviously a lot of baseball teammates call themselves their brothers, and it's the brotherhood because you spend every day together, and it's not like every other sport per se. Football, where you take a little bit of time off after the season. The baseball season is 12 months long. How much does it mean to you guys to have that built-in connection of being brothers, that no matter what, maybe if per se you were not a great teammate to someone, it doesn't matter. Jarred, you have JT, and JT, you've got Jarred as well.
Yeah, we do share that connection, and there's other times, like how you mentioned, there's that one teammate, and, like, there's times where I'll go to Jarred and I'll be like, I don't know what to do with him. I know he's always in the way, and Jarred's other times too. He's just like, hey, man, just listen to him out. Talk to him. It's all right. And that's going to happen, especially on every team. There's always going to be that one guy, it's a little difficult to work with. But kind of to touch back to what you said about the brotherhoods, like, with your teammates, again, like you said, you're with them almost the entire year. So it's understanding and building that connection with them because, you're not going to be going out much. You're not going to be spending much time with anyone else besides your internal family. Those guys are the people you're going to ride with, and you're going to spend a lot of time with them, and you got to be on the same connection with them, especially on that field, because if you don't, it's not going to look pretty, especially. So it's understanding each other and learning how to play in that way where you guys are in unison and you guys can communicate, especially when you got tough competition facing every day. So
I don't remember that question.
Yeah, it was about the built-in connection that you have with your brother that you may not have with your so-called brothers that you call your teammates.
Yeah, well, I played with a lot of guys that come from a lot of different backgrounds, and hear all the stories about, like, just, the relationships that they have with, their family, whether it's their brother, sister, whatever. And one thing that I'm extremely grateful for and thankful for is that to have that, connection with my brother and with my sister, that, I value family. I think that it's probably the most important thing to me. And so to be able to have that relationship with him, that that he trusts me enough to have difficult conversations and kind of talk to me about when he is feeling down or when he's going through some stuff. For a lot of people, it's tough to have those conversations, but when he's sitting down or he's calling you about those times, like, it's a built trust, and to have that, like, I'm super grateful for.
And tonight is college-themed night at Wisconsin Brewing Company Park. I brought my Arizona State beanie. It actually fell, but my Sun Devils going to the college football playoff. Very excited about that. Obviously, Jarred, you didn't go to college. You had the great opportunity to sign with the New York Mets right out of high school, and then now JT, he's going through the college experience. But was they're always something like, oh, I wish I got to experience that, especially maybe hearing some stories from some of your teammates, because there were a couple of teammates of yours in Seattle that had very good college careers and that gave them the platform to join you at the major league level? Or is it something that you like hearing about and saying, I'm very glad I went down my path?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that I can think of that I probably wish that I could have experienced would have been just the camaraderie and the BS with the guys. You know, you hear all the times that all the guys that I play with that played in college, and they talk about, you know, when they were, you know, going out to the bars, or when they were at a party, or just the certain games that they remember. Like, I was in a hunting camp in November, and there was 9 of us, and I think 6 of the 9 of them all played at Mississippi State together. And, you know, the whole time they're sitting there talking about, you know, it was either a party that they went to or it was a game that they played, and they were just, you know, reminiscing about the good old times. And I think that would be, like, the only thing that I would miss, or that I miss out on, is having those good old times. But, you know, I also believe that with my route, like, I have those stories too, and, you know, I don't regret not going to school. But to answer your question, yeah, I think that would be the only thing.
I mean, obviously I didn't get to go out of high school like he did, so I got to go to college, and sure enough, I got to play against the Sun Devils too, and got to see how that works. So ASU, they're a very good team, especially when they played against us. We had a tough time against them, but no, kind of like what he said about with those guys going to Mississippi State. I mean, still, some of those guys at GCU I still talk to every day, and I have a close connection with them. And because of that, that built a very close bond with them. And I got to essentially, now we got something to write off of. And I enjoy being around those guys every day and talking with them. It just gets easier, especially now with me going to Scottsdale. It's building that new connection with those guys and hopefully keeping that relationship going on, because outside of baseball, I mean, that's going to be a great time to hang out with those guys.
And JT, you mentioned it, going to be at Scottsdale Community College this upcoming season. Junior college baseball in Arizona is beyond legit. So many players formerly with Division I schools, so many players who will be at Division I schools in the future. We are, of course, hoping that you get back to a Division I school and that platforms you to then join your brother in the professional ranks. But how excited are you for the upcoming season to get the opportunity to play at a very high level? And also, it's wood and bat in junior college in Arizona, and the ball flies, and you're going to have a great time. But how excited are you for the upcoming season?
I'm ecstatic. I mean, I got to take a little break there in the fall. I got to see what the competition like was down there, and you know, you weren't kidding about that with that competition, especially with a lot of those guys came from big D1 schools to come to the junior college level to showcase and hopefully to go on to bigger schools. It's seeing these guys who can run it up to 97 and hit the ball over 110. So especially when, you know, funny enough is the junior colleges in Arizona is the only collegiate league that gets to use wood bats during the season. So that's, I always love swinging wood bats, so I kind of enjoy that part about it. But it's being with that type of competition, that was the one thing that drew me towards it is, you know, I had the chance to come back here to play junior college, but I saw the type of competition they had down there and what they had to offer with the amount of schools that they bring in and the amount of pro guys that they bring in. I was like, this is an opportunity I want to take because I know I can flourish off of it.
And then, Jarred, you got to spend your first several spring trainings in Arizona, then, of course, being traded back to the Atlanta Braves. All of a sudden, you're on the East Coast. What has that transition been like for you, just getting reacclimated via the trade?
Yeah, it's a lot longer trips. Kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I got to drive, like, I think the shortest ride is 45 minutes, and then some trips are even 3 hours, so it's a lot longer days. But, you know, it's good to be in the warm weather and playing again. I'm looking forward to getting down there and getting acclimated. You know, I think the first year, like anything, transition. So, you know, I had a terrible spring last year, and that's just because, like I said, transition, you know, a lot of things I hadn't seen before. So I'm expecting hopefully a better spring, but I'm excited to get down there.
And then 2025 season is going to be your 5th in the majors, your 2nd with the Atlanta Braves. What are you most excited for this upcoming campaign in the show?
Probably just winning. We had a lot of expectations on us last year. Expectations are tough, man. Like, I don't think that I don't really like them, but we have a lot of talented guys, a lot of aircraft carrier players, and I think that with that you're going to get expectations and unfortunate circumstances of guys getting hurt, but we got a lot of guys coming back from injury, and I think as a team we're going to be pretty good. So for me, I would just say the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is winning and getting back in the day-to-day with those guys.
Yeah, the injuries were brutal last year for the Atlanta Braves, but you were able to stay healthy and you were able to be out on the field and help that team make the playoffs, especially getting the 5 seed in the National League, so they would have made the playoffs even without the expansion the last couple of years. Let's wrap this up because we only got a couple more minutes before we have trivia tonight. Thank you to everyone who came out to Wisconsin Brewing Company Park in the DockHaus. Once again, we've got a bunch of merch on sale down there, but just for you two guys, how much does it drive you, the fact that you never got the chance to play together and that your one opportunity to truly do that will be in the show? So for Jarred, extending your major league career, and then for JT, getting to the major leagues to be there with Jarred.
I mean, I guess I'll start it off with that. It's a big motivator for me. I mean, that's always been one of my big goals, is hopefully to play against them or play with them one day. So that's always something I keep in the back of my mind to keep me going in this game, because kind of like how we said during this whole duration, is this game gets tough, especially during in the middle of the season. When the sun gets hot and you're playing so many games and you're exhausted. It's understanding the goals and what you want out of it, and out of that pure enjoyment that you can still get out of it is riding it. And just having that idea, knowing that I can push it hard enough or I can play with him, it keeps me alive every day, keeps me going.
And then Jarred, for you, how much of an inspiration to extend your major league career, not only selfishly, but also for your family to get the opportunity to maybe play with JT?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the end goal, is to be in the major leagues, and if you just so happen to do it with your family, I think that's icing on the cake. I played with a couple of guys that had their brothers up in the big leagues with them, and they said a couple of them actually played together, and they said it was the best years that they ever had in their career. And so, I definitely would look forward to that day if it arrives.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on DockHaus Dialogue with Dom. We're off the next couple of weeks as we are closed here at Wisconsin Brewing Company Park, but we'll be back in the new year with new guests, Jarred Kelenic, JT Kelenic. Best of luck not only in the upcoming season, but in the future years for you guys. Really looking forward to hopefully watching you guys play together. You all are family to us here with the Lake Country DockHounds, as your parents are family to us here.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.